If you're an experienced wholesaler, investor, or flipper, you're probably wondering this. Number one, how are top investor clients adding 5 to 10 deals every single month, while most people get stuck at 2 to 5 deals a month? Number two, how other investors can predictably scale to $300,000 per month, while others are stuck fighting overpriced, low-quality leads. And number three, what is the proven system that is behind their success? And how can you actually apply it to your business? In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to answer you all these three questions, but first, here's why you should listen to me. My name is Esteban Andrade and I run Hustle Media and GetSellers.io. And this is an AI-powered company that helps real estate investors and wholesalers get motivated sellers online, either by running their campaigns or doing a pay-per-lead offer. Now, we've worked with tons of real estate investors and wholesalers in the last 5 years, helping them make over $35 million in revenue that we have been reported from our clients in the last 4.5 years. And this is by spending over $15 million in advertising, whether that's Facebook or even Google. And we've been working with people like Boardroom Mastermind or Collective Genius members. We've even worked with the community of Sub2, where we have different students from there, results driven. And we've been in different podcasts like Real Estate Disruptors, The Wealthy Way by Ryan Pineda, and Bigger Pockets Real Estate Rookie. And at last, The Science of Flipping with Justin Colby. And the reason why top investors trust us is very simple. We're not just a lead generation company. We don't just leave you with a lead whenever we generate a lead or set up some generic campaign with generic ads or something that doesn't actually get you deals. We are a lead conversion company that allows you to have the best results in the market, such as having a 1 out of 15, 1 out of 20, 1 out of 10 lead to contract. And this is proven, and it's not just luck, it's actually data that we extracted from the best type of clients. We don't believe in having high volume lead generation. We believe in high quality lead generation where you speak with the most amount of qualified leads so you can actually get qualified appointments, great offers, and ultimately close more contracts, because that's what matters, getting you results. So we're not just a company that focuses on giving you leads. We create a system for you so you can actually start closing deals consecutively and predictably every single month. We want to avoid that you spend thousands on advertising just to waste your time, waste your money, and ultimately don't get any type of results. That's why we built a proven AI-powered system that brings you motivated sellers, appointments, and live transfers with motivated sellers that need to sell their house, as opposed to just being curious or interested because they want to sell their house. So this system allows you to actually focus on closing deals and help top investors go from 2 to 10 deals a month all the way to 5 to 20 deals a month. And all of this without relying on cold calling or referrals or some sort of outreach or doing a low quality pay-per-lead company or just doing some outdated marketing methods. Here's what happens when wholesalers plug into this system. David Hernandez, he made over $3 million in revenue his first year. Mario Lencioni, he locked up over 6 deals in a month and a half when he came in, and he ended up having over $250,000 in revenue generated in a very short time. Patricio, who made over $245,000 in just 30 days, and it only took him about 6 days to get his first deal. Connor Brostek, who went from inconsistent deal flow to a consistent amount of deals in 7 months, closing over 12 deals from Google PPC. And Watson Sane, who's a client that uses NEPQ from Jeremy Miner in order to close deals, and in his first 90 days, he was able to close profit over $88,000 in deals using Facebook ads. And Dawson, who's in California, who was able to close deals using Facebook ads and Google ads combined, over $200,000 generated in his first 2.5 months. And we did this all through implementing a seller acquisition system that was able to attract, convert, and close deals in a predictable way for wholesalers, investors, flippers that need to scale. So this works whenever you're scaling. And all of this is powered by AI. Now let's start with the first step, attracting high intent sellers that are actively looking for a solution, which is needing to sell their house. Most investors waste time fighting for the same overpriced, low quality leads. They're running the same generic "we buy houses" ads, hoping that they are going to attract motivated sellers that ultimately are going to see this as a potential solution. So now you're competing with all these other investors that do the exact same thing, hoping that sellers will choose them sometime. But hope is not a strategy. If you don't position yourself as the number one options that sellers have, sellers will ultimately go somewhere else. That's why the first step in our AI system is engineering something that ultimately attracts sellers consistently and choose you as opposed to your competition. Instead of relying on generic cash offers so that it blends with your competition, we craft a high-performing offer so that you separate from the competition. And we craft a high-performing creative. This way, you're able to separate yourself from the competition that is doing the exact same creative. And it's a creative that involves a video and high strategy static so that it gets the attention, the right attention from sellers, and ultimately sells your company because ultimately attracts people that see this as a different thing. But the most important thing is that it's going to speak directly to your seller's pain point. So whatever offer we create and whatever creative we do is going to speak directly with their biggest desires and their biggest challenges. So they see you as the clear solution to their problem. But an offer alone and a better creative is not going to be enough. You need to be in front of the right sellers at the right time. And this before your competitors even know that they exist. That's why we use a data-driven targeting system with high-level pixels that have been seasoned for 5 years to be in front of the right sellers at the right time. And it's going to be in front of people that are actively looking to sell, leveraging an omni-channel marketing and disruption marketing from Google, YouTube, Meta, which is Instagram and Facebook, so you can actually target people that need to sell their house fast. And ensure that your offer and your creative is everywhere that they go. And the result, instead of chasing sellers, sellers come to you. They're motivated and ready to sell while your competition is fighting over low quality leads. And look, most agencies send you raw leads and they disappear. They don't support you after the fact. But the thing is that leads alone are not gonna get you money. Deals will get you the money. And that's where most investors struggle. If you don't engage with a seller lead within a few minutes, 2 to 5 minutes max, you will lose the lead. And another investor will actually get a hold of this lead and probably close it. And this is not because we're sharing leads to other people, but that's because they will see the ads or they'll go to another ad right after they have raised their hand and seen that there is a solution out there. They became aware of that. That's why speed to lead is everything. Our system ensures that your team can connect with the seller within 120 seconds after the seller has been generated, which would increment conversion from 60 to 300%. And this before they go to someone else. The problem is that speed alone is not going to fix the issue. Chasing the wrong sellers is still gonna be a problem. The problem is speed alone is not going to fix the bigger issue, which is chasing the wrong leads. And most investors waste hours talking to sellers that were not even serious in the first place about selling their house. And that's where our AI changes everything. After processing over 50,000 leads, we have trained our AI to filter through tire kickers or people that are not serious, people that are time wasters, people that don't need to sell their house, so that you can only focus on the high quality ones. And when we do send the seller, they're not just gonna be a name and an address in a spreadsheet or a text message. They're going to be a live transfer or an appointment booked for you in your calendar, live transfer to you, because these people are hot. So you're only talking with high intent sellers who are actually looking to move forward. But even with high quality leads, most deals don't close in the first call. And 90% of deals are actually made after a couple follow-ups that you do with the seller. And most investors and wholesalers don't have the time to manually chase every single lead. That's why our system keeps your pipeline organized so no seller slips through the cracks. It tells you who to follow up with, when, and how, so that you know who to focus with, and our team will be able to help you get the most out of every single seller lead. And this is all done through our scoring system and our high accountability team that ultimately helps you close more deals. And the result, more qualified seller leads, better productive time, and then ultimately you're focusing on the things that do move the needle forward. More productive conversations, more signed contracts, more deals, better revenue, bigger deals. Once you have a system that consistently brings you motivated sellers, the next step is you having to convert these leads into contracts. We have put together the right training and the right package for you to ultimately learn how to close deals, lock up contracts from paid ads. It's not the same as cold calling or direct mail or direct to agent. It has a specific benchmark that all our clients have been using in order to go from 1 out of 25, 1 out of 30, all the way to 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15, 1 out of 20 conversion ratio. So once you have a system that consistently brings motivated sellers and converts leads into contracts, the next step is actually scaling. And most investors think that scaling a marketing campaign is just putting more money on ads, and that $1 every single time will mean the same amount of dollars back, or like $5 back, without properly putting an infrastructure that would help you scale predictably. So if you're spending $100 a day at first, but then you want to do 5 deals, 10 deals a month, which you require more ad spend, you just don't put more money into the fire. You have to do it with a structure, which involves ultimately hiring the right people, putting the right systems in place, and ultimately doing it to the right campaigns, and always converting predictably. So scaling is not just about generating more leads, but having an infrastructure that gives you predictable revenue and great profit margins. That's why before we start scaling, we fine-tune your seller acquisition system, and we make sure that we have feedback loops so that whenever scaling happens, we actually are bringing in the same amount of revenue consistently and with great profit margins. That's why before we increase your deal flow and ad spend, we make sure that we fine-tune your seller acquisition system so that every dollar that you put in accounts for every single revenue that you're going to generate from that amount. So every dollar that you put into marketing translates into real contracts, predictable profit margins, and ultimately getting more deals, more revenue. So we analyze your numbers, data-driven, cost per lead, cost per appointment, cost per contract, cost per deal, and we understand what is the return of the investment with your current acquisition system so that we can ultimately do a fine-tuning so that you are ready to scale. And this ensures that your acquisition team and your system can actually handle more volume of leads. Then and only then we scale. We do it strategically, with high profit margins, and with high predictability. When you have the right systems, scaling is not a risk. It's just naturally the next step. At this point, you've seen exactly how our AI-powered seller acquisition system works and how our investor clients are closing 5, 10, 15, 20 deals per month, so that you can actually do it too. And this all relying without any outdated marketing channel or low quality leads or constant follow-up grind where you're only hustling and not actually being a true CEO. But let's be real, knowing the system is just not enough. You need it installed in your business, running seamlessly, and then ultimately acquiring deals every single month. And that is exactly what we do at Hustle Media. We don't sell courses, we don't do theory. This is application. So you can actually focus on just closing deals and help you scale the business. All of this while we handle everything for you. We built and run your seller acquisition system for you so you can focus on the higher level things and without having to handle everything else, because we will do that for you. We set up and manage your marketing campaigns. We send you highly qualified, motivated seller leads. We ultimately book appointments and do live transfers for you. We pre-qualify sellers, so you only speak with the marketing qualified leads sellers, the higher quality leads that are needing to sell their house. We optimize conversions and then we systemize your pipeline. That's why top investors and wholesalers, students at Boardroom Mastermind or 7-Figure Cartel at the Mastermind at Sub 2 or Collective Genius actually trust us. And here's our guarantee to you. If you don't close deals, we work for free. It's that simple. We're so confident in our system that if you follow our process and our system and you don't get contracts, we'll work for free until you do get contracts. And no one in our industry can offer this because they don't get this type of results. Now the real question is this: are you ready to plug into the system that is generating over $100,000 to $300,000 a month for the top investors in the space? Here's your next step. Click on the link below and book a call with our team. And we'll create a customized marketing game plan for you specifically so you can actually scale through better motivated sellers online. And because we only work with selected amount of individuals, we are very careful about who we decide to work with. We will be ultimately having a conversation whether this is going to be a good fit for each other. And if it is, then we will invite you to the game plan so you can actually have this customized marketing game plan, and hopefully we start working together. So if you're seeing this, it means that there's an opening, that we want to work with another investor or wholesaler that is ready to take it to another level, or is ready to get better motivated seller leads and ultimately more deals. So if you're serious about scaling your deal flow using online marketing, paid ads, Google, Meta, well, just book in the link below and I'll see you on the other side.